Welcome to this presentation by the Accessibility and Disability Center for staff and faculty. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video and ensure our students are receiving the support they need and that our university remains in compliance with federal laws and standards. Here are the current full-time staff at the ADC. Bako Wahabu is our director. I, Malia Ridd, am the ADC coordinator, and Mandy Anderson is our learning specialist. The ADC works with students who have documented disabilities or conditions to ensure they have equal access to academic programs, campus services, and learning opportunities. Our goal is not to give students an unfair advantage, but to remove barriers that may prevent them from accessing their education in the same way as their peers. When access barriers are reduced, students are better positioned to succeed and graduate. Accommodations exist because of federal disability law. The two primary laws that guide our work are the Americans with Disabilities Act and Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act. These laws require colleges and universities to provide reasonable accommodations so students with disabilities have equal access to education. A key point to remember is that accommodations are not optional. They are part of federal civil rights protections. At the same time, accommodations are designed to provide equal access, not to lower academic standards or provide an advantage. Faculty and staff play a critical role in making this system work. When accommodations are implemented appropriately, it supports legal compliance, academic fairness, and ultimately student success. Students have a responsibility in this process. First, students must self-identify with the ADC and provide documentation of their disability or condition before accommodations can be approved. Faculty do not determine accommodations. That process happens through our office. We do that to protect the faculty from liability. Second, students are responsible for communicating with their professors. If a student believes their accommodations are not being implemented, we encourage them to first try to resolve the concern with the instructor and communicate with them. If the issue continues or concerns still remain, the ADC will communicate with both the student and the professor to try to resolve the situation and provide support to both the student and faculty member. Students who are eligible for ADC services are those who have a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more major life activities. An example includes things like learning, concentrating, walking, seeing, hearing, or communicating. Students may also qualify if they have a documented history of a disability or medical condition that affects their ability to participate fully in academic activities. Our office reviews documentation and works with students individually to determine appropriate accommodations. One important thing to recognize is that many disabilities are not visible. Conditions like ADHD, learning disabilities, mental health conditions, chronic illnesses, and neurological conditions often cannot be seen externally. Because of that, it is important that we avoid making assumptions about a student's abilities based on appearance or behavior. The accommodation letter the ADC provides faculty is what confirms that the student has already gone through the eligibility process with our office. This slide lists some examples of conditions that may qualify for disability accommodations. This is not an exhaustive list, but it helps illustrate the wide range of disabilities students may experience. Some students may have physical disabilities, sensory impairments, mental health conditions, chronic illnesses, or even a temporary injury or condition. Each student's situation is evaluated individually by our office, and accommodations are determined based on functional limitations related to learning. Accommodations are adjustments that allow students to access course material and demonstrate their knowledge. However, accommodations must remain reasonable according to the ADA law. This means they cannot fundamentally alter the essential elements of a course or program. If you as a faculty member ever feel that an accommodation might impact a core learning objective or essential requirements for your course, please contact the ADC. We are always happy to work with faculty to find solutions that maintain academic integrity while supporting equal access. Some common accommodations include things like extended testing time, a distraction-reduced testing environment, note-taking support, or the ability to audio record lectures. Some students may also receive ASL interpreting services or transcription services if they are deaf or hard of hearing. In addition, some accommodations may be only temporary. For example, a student recovering from a concussion or a broken limb may receive short-term academic adjustments. A common misconception is that students should attempt a course without accommodations first and only receive support if they begin to struggle. Under federal law, that is not how the process works. Students do not need to fail an exam or assignment to demonstrate they need accommodations. Once the ADC issues an accommodation letter, those accommodations should be implemented. Faculty may not delay accommodations, modify accommodations independently, require students to struggle academically before support is provided, or judge themselves whether accommodations are needed or justified. If there are any concerns or questions about how an accommodation should be implemented, please contact our office. A concern we sometimes hear from faculty is that accommodations might lower academic standards. It is important to emphasize that accommodations do not reduce rigor or workload and do not alter learning outcomes. Instead, accommodations adjust how a student accesses learning or demonstrates their knowledge. Students are still responsible for meeting the same academic standards and course expectations and should be graded the same as their peers. When the ADC provides an accommodation letter, there are a few important steps faculty should follow. First, review the letter promptly so you are aware of the approved accommodations. Not every student's accommodations are the same. Second, discuss implementation logistics with the student privately if needed. And third, if you have any concerns or questions about the accommodations, please reach out to our office so we can assist. Faculty should not delay or deny accommodations on their own. Accommodation decisions are made through the ADC. Our process includes reviewing documentation, meeting with the student, and applying federal guidelines and best practices. Faculty input is welcome and often requested when accommodations relate to their course structure. However, the ADC determines and approves all accommodations. Again, this is to protect faculty from liability. Disability information is confidential. Faculty should discuss accommodations privately with students and avoid discussing disability-related information in front of peers or individuals not involved in implementation. The accommodation letter provides the information faculty need to implement accommodations without requiring students to disclose personal medical information. Please refrain from asking for medical or diagnosis information from students. Even with accommodations, students are still responsible for participating in their education. They must attend class, complete assignments, meet deadlines associated with their accommodations, and satisfy all essential course requirements. Accommodations provide equal access, but they do not guarantee success. Faculty support plays a very important role in student success. When accommodations are implemented in a timely and supportive way, students often experience greater confidence, fewer barriers to learning, and stronger academic persistence. Your willingness to work collaboratively with the ADC makes a significant difference in helping students succeed. When in doubt, contact the ADC. If you ever encounter a situation where an accommodation seems unclear, difficult to implement, or potentially conflicts with course requirements, please reach out to our office. Our role is to support both students and faculty in navigating these situations. We are always happy to consult, answer questions, or help find practical solutions. Here are a few common questions we hear from faculty. Can I deny an accommodation? No. Faculty should contact the ADC if concerns arise. What if an accommodation impacts course integrity? The ADC will work with faculty to determine appropriate implementation. What if a student requests accommodations late in the semester? Accommodations apply from the time the letter is issued and are not retroactive. Students can apply at any time in the semester. Some accommodations often raise additional questions. For example, flexibility with attendance does not mean unlimited absences and does not apply to essential course components. Flexibility with due dates is not automatic for every assignment. Students must communicate with the instructor before the due date. Audio recording lectures requires a signed agreement that the recordings will not be shared or misused. For note-taking support, many students now use technologies such as the Genio app, which can help generate structured notes and study materials. In addition to accommodations, the ADC also offers academic support resources. All registered students may have access to our learning specialist, Mandy. Mandy works with students on a variety of topics, including time management, study strategies, overcoming task paralysis, building academic resilience. These are just some of the workshops she provides. Faculty are welcome to refer ADC registered students to these resources when additional academic supports may be helpful. We also offer tutors for those registered with the ADC to help with various courses who have an understanding that some students have different executive functions or learn in different ways. Creating an accessible learning environment is a shared effort across campus. Faculty play a critical role in ensuring students with disabilities can access education and demonstrate their abilities. By working collaboratively with the ADC, we can reduce barriers, support student success, and maintain strong academic standards while maintaining federal compliance. Thank you for the work you already do to support students. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. We're happy to answer any questions you may have about accommodations, implementation, or working with the ADC to support your students. Please feel free to reach out to us anytime if questions arise in the future. Thank you.